So today we're actually going to learn about basic probability. Last class we just learned about sets, but you have to kind of understand sets and sample spaces to understand probability, okay? So probability is the chance of something happening, an event, okay? So you'll see here is kind of our really easy formula. It's the number of successful outcomes divided by the number of possible, like total outcomes. And in last class, we called that the sample space. So if I asked you, what's the sample space of flipping a coin, what would you say? Nope. Nope. What's the sample space? Heads or tails. So in curly brackets, we listed heads and tails. So the sample space are all possible happenings. What are all the possible things that can happen? So what is the sample space of me rolling a 6-sided die? Yeah, you put in curly brackets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all the possibilities, okay? Now what if I ask you, what is the probability that I roll a 5? Well, I would consider, in this case, what it means by a successful outcome is what I want. So what do I want to roll? A 5. So one side is a 5. Out of how many? 6. So I would call that a 1/6 probability, or 1/6. Okay? Now, here it says all probability answers must be between 0 and 1. And this is talking about the decimal. So for example, if you put 1 divided by 6 in your calculator, is that going to be less than 1? Yeah. What would be 1? 6 divided by 6, right? What's 6 divided by 6? 1. So if I tell you there's a 6 out of 6 chance that something's going to happen, what does that mean? 100% chance, which we call 6 divided by 6 is 1. We'll do more of that in a second. So the closer it is to 1, obviously, the more likely that event is going to happen. The closer you are to 0, the less likely. And can you have a negative probability? No, that doesn't make sense. So answers can be in decimal or fraction form. Can you have an answer greater than 1? Can there be a 250% chance that it's going to rain today?
Yeah.
No. 100 is as good as it gets. Now someone asks, well, isn't it possible to have like 250% inflation? Well, yeah, that's talking about something totally different. So like if you say our sales increased by 250%, yeah, that's possible. But probability itself, 100% it's going to happen, right? That's as good as it gets. If I tell you there's a 100% chance that something's going to happen, what does that mean? It's going to happen. Okay, so probability only goes up to 1. So this is just saying our notation. So someone said last class, well, it looks like P times A, but it's not. That's basically asking you the probability of A occurring. So that's just the notation. So we'll get there in just a second. But now let's practice writing our different forms of probability. Okay? So obviously a lot of you are familiar with percents. Percents are out of what? 100. Yeah. And then we have decimals and we have fractions. All of them are good answers. Okay? So let's start with 98%. 98% divided by, and then what are percents out of? 100. So if you're trying to turn a percent into a fraction, you divide it by 100, okay? And then your calculator, hit enter. Well, there's your decimal, so you can fill that in over here, right? So the decimal is 0.98. And then the way you can turn this into a fraction is hit math, and then see the first option is fraction. Your calculator will always give you the most reduced form. So 49 over 50. Why is it 49 out of 50?
Multiply it by 2, you get 100.
Yeah, because 90, technically it's 98 out of 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what do both of those numbers divide by? 2. So always, it says reduced. Always reduce your fraction. So that means 49 out of 50 times that's going to occur. It's pretty likely, right? Okay, see if you can fill out the rest of the chart on your own. All right, so Austin, what is 3/4 as a percent? 75% good. Most of you probably already knew that. Which as a decimal, move the decimal spot two spots to the left, you get 0.75. Which is less than 1, right? 0.75. Okay. 3/4 as a percent would be 34%. And then technically it's 34 over 100, but that reduces to what?
1750.
Yeah, so 17 over 50 should be your reduced fraction. What is 6 divided by 6?
1.
1.
100.
Which now, 6 divided by 6 should really be reduced to 1 as well. And 1 as a fraction is just 1 over 1. Which obviously is 100% chance. If I tell you something's going to happen 6 out of 6 times, that means it's going to for sure happen. And then 44.6 we talked about, move the decimal 2 spots to the left, and we get 0.446. Which 44.6 divided by 100. A reduced fraction cannot have a decimal in it. So what your calculator does is it blows it up big enough to be out of a whole number. So what is 44.6 divided by 100 as a reduced fraction? What do you guys get? It's like 223 over 500. We have the complement. So a complement is just the other part of it, right? So if I say there's a 60% chance that something happens, what's the percent chance that it's not going to happen? 40%. So you can see here, there's a little formula, but this is the decimal. So it's a formula for if you're given a decimal, it's 1 minus. So let's do the first one together. So it says write your answer in the form that it's given. So if it's given as a percent, your answer should be the complement as a percent. So if there's a 98% chance that something happens, what's the percent chance that it will not happen? 2%. Okay, go ahead and do the last 4 there. Make sure you write it in the form that it's given. All right, Vincent, what's the complement of 3/4? 1/4, good. 0.34, so that we can use our formula. 1 minus 0.34. Teach, what do you get for the complement of 0.34? It is 0.66.
Can't you just do 100 minus the number?
Yep, so percentage you can do 100 minus the percent if it's in a percent form. For decimal, or what? It's not 100 minus 0.34, it's 1 minus 0.34. Or you can turn it into a percent, call it 34%, and then subtract from 100. 6 divided by 6. What's the complement of 100%? 0%, or 0 out of 6. So the complement of 6 out of 6 is just 0. You can write 0 out of 6, or just 0. And then 44.6. So you can do this one because we know percentages are out of 100. So 100 minus 44.6 would be what? Percent. Make sure you put the percent sign on there so we know that we're talking about percent. No. So a fair coin is tossed. We talked about this last class. The sample space is the set of heads or tails. So probability of heads. How many heads are on the coin? Yeah, so it's the one head divided by how many total elements are in our sample space? 2. So we would just call it 1 out of 2. Now it doesn't say to write our probability a certain way. So this is probably easiest to do as a fraction. If you wanted to write 50%, you wouldn't be wrong. The test will ask different forms at different times. So I might say, express your answer as a percent, or express your answer as a reduced fraction. So what's the probability that it's tails then? 1 out of 2 again. It's basically the complement of heads, because there's only 2 options, right? So it's also 1 out of 2, or 1/2. All right, a 6-sided die. We've talked about the sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what's the probability that I were to roll a die and it would land on 1?
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6, good. Next one, probability that it's going to be an even number. So obviously 2, 4, 6 are our successful events. So if it lands on any of those, we'll be happy, right? Because those are even. So how many were there of those? 3. Good, out of 6, which you should always reduce to 1/2 probability. So basically the 50% chance of rolling an even number. And then what's the probability that one of these numbers would be greater than 2? Yeah, so is 2 greater than 2? No, so we don't include 2, but we have 3, 4, 5, 6. So 4 out of how many? Reduce
2/3.
would be 2/3. Okay, now it says list the sample space for the outcomes of the experiment. So this time our experiment consists of tossing 3 coins. That's one experiment. So I toss a coin, and I toss a coin. When I look at them, what are the possibilities? What's one?
3 heads and 2 tails.
Okay, so let's write it as a set. So the set equals. So after one experiment, what's one possibility? I look at all 3 coins. Okay, so that's a probability. So you can do H, H, H. So we could also obviously have, all 3 could be tails. So tails, tails, tails. This is kind of like the one on your homework from last class where it said you flip a coin and you roll a die at the same time. So one of the probabilities is you get a head and then you get a 1. Or you could get a head and a 2. Or a head 3, head 4. Or you could get tails 1, tails 2. So you have to list everything that could possibly come up. So see if you can come up with the rest of them here.
Why is the first one?
All right, here we go. See if you got them all. There should be 8 of them. Okay, so probability. So how many total elements are in our set, our sample space?
8.
There's 8 total. So how many times did it come up all heads?
1.
1 out of 8 times, so 1/8. Okay, 2 tails. Now this means exactly 2 tails. So yes, 3 tails has 2 tails, but that's not exactly 2, it's 3.
2.
So 2 tails, 2 tails, 2 tails. So that would be 3 out of 8. Probability that there are no heads.
20.
The only one that does not have any H's would be TTT. So 1 out of 8. Okay, at least 1 tail. At least 1. So at least 1 tail, at least 1 tail, at least 1 tail, at least 1 tail. All of them but 1. So that would be 7 8s. Bless you. Okay, now look at this. What's the complement of at least 1 tail?
All inches.
All heads, right? So the complement is what's left. So all heads is the complement of at least 1 tail, which we already knew. So if you do 1 minus 1/8, that gives you 7/8. So that's what that last one was saying. How could you use the complement? Well, if we already knew that all heads was 1/8, well, at least 1 tail would be 7/8 because they're complements of each other. Okay, a bag contains 6 red marbles, 4 blue marbles, 2 yellow marbles, and 3 green marbles. Then it says 1 marble is drawn at random. Okay, so our sample space is, all right, probability that I stick my hand in this bag and I pull out a red marble. 6 out of 15. Because there's 15 total marbles in the bag, which reduces to divide by 3 would be 2, divide by 3 would be 5, so 2/5. Probability of B or G. Haha, it spells bug. Probability that there's a bug in the bag. You guys remember when we had our Venn diagram, what did we do on the warm-up when I asked you A or B?
Add them all together.
Yeah, we added them together, right? So if it's B or G, we need to add them together. So blues plus greens is 7/15. Good. Which doesn't reduce, so that's your answer. So 7 out of 15 chance that I put my hand in and I get a blue or a green. Now the probability that it is not yellow would be 13 out of 15. Good, because there's 2 yellow.